Welcome to the second half of my video tutorial. Here we were working with objects, and we're going to start with object red by adding a create event which occurs when the object is created, which should be at the start of the game. On create, we want it to move at random, so click in every direction at a speed of your choice. How about 6? Now we're going to do collision with object blue, that is the player. And when this occurs, we want the red ship to be destroyed. So we're going to have to do a few things here. I'm going to start with a sound of impact. Press OK. Drag destroy instance on self. OK. And replace the red sprite with the object of object broken, which represents the destroyed ship. And be sure to check relative here so that it is displayed in the right place. Press OK. And for a third event, we're going to do a collision with object wall. This will be a bounce action so that it cannot leave the boundaries of the game. Not precisely is fine. Press OK. Next, we're going to give object blue a way to fire lasers. To do this, we're going to start with a create event, and we're going to put variables to use by using this square-shaped set variable action. Here you're going to name the variable. I'm going to call it lasers. The value can be whatever you like. I'm going to give it a value of 10. Press OK. Now we're going to create a keyboard event. I'm going to use the letter F. You can make that whatever you want, but basically what this is going to do is actually fire the lasers and decrement the variable we just created to limit the number of times the player can fire. Here we're going to set the lasers variable 1 lower than its previous value. Make sure to check relative here. Press OK. Now we're going to test that variable with this test variable action. It's a different shape, you see. Type in lasers. We're going to make this larger than 0. So this block of code will only execute if lasers is larger than 0. That means after 10 presses of the F key, or actually 9 presses, this block of code will stop executing and you've effectively run out of lasers. Purpose of that is just to limit how often the player can fire. Here inside the block we're going to create instances of the blue laser. Make sure to check relative again, and you can make as many of these as you like. I'm going to create 3 or 4. Remember, I'm working one-handed here. Also going to use the laser sound. Loop false. OK. And very quickly we're going to add collision with the wall event. Simply go to the move tab, drag bounce into here, press OK. We're skipping around here a little bit, but this is what the blue laser object should look like. Here in create you're going to have a random movement all directions at a fast speed. I did 20. And a collision with red, destroy instance on other. Make sure that's other. This would be a good time to test the game again. Let's go back into the room play. This time we're going to add some things we didn't have before, like walls. Place these all around the edge by holding shift, covering the boundaries with walls so that everything bounces around instead of leaving the game. And second, place some enemies in here that you can destroy. Make sure to test the lasers, make sure to test collision with the walls. Sorry for skipping around again, but this is what the game looked like for me at this point. You can fire the lasers, they move and they bounce, and that's it. If you're happy with where the walls are placed and you'd like to get rid of the big yellow blocks, just uncheck visible in the properties. Now our enemies and our walls and our lasers seem to work properly, but there's still no threat to the player. We're going to try to change that right now with the mothership object. Let's do a create. First of all, it's going to move in a random direction, slowly, because it's a big ship. Speed of 2. And second, we're going to set an alarm here on the main 2 tab. Alarm 0. 120 steps, which is every 4 seconds. And we're going to continue with that alarm by setting an alarm event. This alarm is going to create red lasers, actually just one relative, and it's going to reset that alarm so that this continues to work. We're going to change that to 90, make it a little bit faster. And third, we're going to do a collision with the wall. Simply bounce unprecisely. Skipping ahead again, I'm here working on the red laser object. I have it moving at random at a speed of 8, which is slower than the blue laser, but it's also different in that it bounces off of walls instead of going through them. This means over time you're going to have more red lasers to avoid. And you'll want to avoid them because I'm going to make them end the game when it collides with object blue. Head to the main 2 tab here, drag end the game in, and you can also add a message here, whatever you like. So now the player has a way to lose the game, and we're going to make it so that the player can actually win the game. To do this, we're going to test the number of reds every time blue destroys a red. Come here to object red, collision with object blue. Go to the control tab and drag in test instance. We're going to test the number of reds equal to 0. If there are no reds left, we're going to end the game in the player's favor. And you can add a message here saying you win, or whatever you like, and the player can now lose and win the game. If you go ahead and place the mothership and the walls and everything in the map, this is pretty much what it should look like at this point. We'll consider this our final test, and we will see what happens if I can... couldn't get it, but try it yourself. Alright, we're nearing the end of my video tutorial now. I just have the last few things to say. First of all, I hope your final test run went as well as mine did. You might have won, unlike me, but I just hope it ran properly for you. And if it didn't run as expected, you might try going back in the video to work out any problems, or you can try the documentation provided in the comments. And now that it's complete for this tutorial, you may try to add new things to it, because there's certainly a lot that could be added to this game. And if you enjoy the Game Maker software, also consider purchasing the Pro Edition for $20. This concludes my video tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you learned something, and I thank you for watching.